What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and today I will be reviewing a beer from Tröegs Independent Brewing, and they're out of Hershey, Pennsylvania, and this is their JavaHead Stout. So this is a coffee stout that comes in at 7.5% alcohol by volume, 60 IBUs at the time of review. This bottle is exactly, I don't know exactly how old it is, and that's because they have a Freshest By date on the label, and it says November 8th of 2019. We're about 3 weeks away from that, so it's still technically fresh, according to Tröegs, but this is probably like, I'd imagine this has like probably like a 4-month shelf life, so we're probably at like just over 3 months old. So not optimal freshness, but still technically fresh according to the brewery, and that's all I can ask. So like so many of these beers that I'm reviewing as part of the shelfie beers for the month of October, I haven't had this one in like 4 or 5 years, but I remember really enjoying this one. They just say it's a stout brewed with coffee beans. On the side here it says JavaHead is like a day at Tröegs. It's hard to tell where the coffee ends and the beer begins. This creamy oatmeal stout, so hey, it's an oatmeal stout, is infused with locally roasted, cold steeped coffee through our HopBack vessel, releasing subtle hints. They talk about subtle hints and stuff. So yeah, this is basically an oatmeal stout, oatmeal coffee stout is basically what it is. So they should just state that instead of just a stout brewed with coffee beans. The hops are using our Cluster, Chinook, and Cascade. And yeah, that's all I really know about it. So again, haven't had this in a long time. I wanted to grab it because I remember enjoying it. And this kind of skirts the line of an Imperial Stout at 7.5. I remember this one being a little bit thin at 7.5, but I do remember the coffee character being quite nice. So let's pour it into the Tröegs Mad Elf glass and go from there. So yeah, this is pouring out like more of like a 5% stout or like a light porter, because it had like this really more of a brown color when I'm pouring it out. In the glass, it looks pitch black, and that's how it's going to look on camera, but in person, definitely brown tinges down here. Has about a finger of a mocha colored head, very creamy looking. Yeah, that looks awesome. So they're using oats and coffee. I'd imagine the mouthfeel on this is probably going to be fantastic. Let's see. Well, I'm not tasting it now. Oh, wow. So still a big coffee blast of this one. It has nice roasted coffee notes to it. Almost like a touch of like a berry note in here too. Dark fruits too, like a cherry as well. Could be just from the base stout. There's vanilla, and I'm getting like a little bit of like an oatmeal thing, and I almost never get that. No matter the beer, they use oats. I very rarely, even oatmeal stouts, I don't really get any kind of like oat characteristic. It's usually just more for mouthfeel and texture. In here, I'm getting like a little bit of like an oatmeal character. That's interesting. There's chocolate, like a dark cocoa, like a 60-70% cacao bar. A little bit of vanilla. Those dark fruits are very prevalent. In addition to like a sweeter dark cherry and a touch of like a berry, which I think is coming from the coffee, there is like a figgy date thing too. This actually smells way bigger than 7.5%, just from like the actual characters of the beer and like the notes of it. It's just like, man, this smells like it's like 9 or 10% at the very least. I mean, it doesn't have a booziness to it. It just has like so many characters. It's like very complex and deep. Yeah. Was that a little bit licorice too? Yeah, a little bit black. This is, wow. I don't remember this beer being this complex. Honestly, I just don't remember it being like this. It smells fucking awesome. If I'm just gonna be honest with you, it smells awesome. It really does. Yeah, anyway, let's get into it. Cheers, everybody. Okay, the nose is way better, but the taste is still nice. Man, that mouthfeel is fucking fantastic from the oats. Wow. Body in this one 7.5%, medium, maybe a skosh over medium, cool with me. Mouthfeel, soft, smooth, definitely creamy from the oats. Enhances the overall enjoyability to this beer for me. The taste isn't as big on those fruity components. Not really getting the berry that I was getting in the nose. Not really getting a ton of dark fruits. This one is definitely more to the just here's a stout with coffee kind of vibe for me. Lots of roasted malts, a lot of roasted coffee. There's a little bit of like an acidic punch from, I believe, the coffee. It has a charriness too. It hasn't been in barrel or anything, but just has like a charred malt or like a burnt malt kind of character too, which is nice. It's almost smoky in a sense. A skosh of vanilla. That chocolate is there, but it's more of like a baker's chocolate, or like I said, the 60-70% cacao bar. It's not sweet. It's unrefined chocolate or unrefined cocoa, so there's no sweetness really added, maybe a touch. It finishes semi-dry, not really much residual sweetness, and it has like a moderate bitterness to it. Super easy to drink, 7.5. There's no alcohol that I'm detecting on my palate. The mouthfeel is bonkers in a great way. This is a really tasty beer. I wish the nose would have carried over, because if that nose carried over, this would have been like a 4.5, 4.75. I shit you not. That's how good the nose was. The aroma on this one was spectacular. Probably one of the best for like a sub 8% beer that I've had this year. The taste falls flat. It doesn't follow suit. But at the same time, I think the taste is actually more familiar to my palate for this beer than the aroma. I don't remember the aroma being that crazy, but the palate is kind of on point. What I'm tasting on my palate is on point to what I remember this beer being. So it's a good beer. It's a really tasty beer. I do enjoy it. I think that mouthfeel is fantastic. But if you go into this beer and you buy it, yeah, it's a 7.5% American Stout with coffee. They're using oats, and you kind of feel that in the beer. The coffee is kind of the shining note in this one, the shining star. The oats are enhancing that mouthfeel. At the end of the day, it's a really tasty beer. I do enjoy it, and for like a so-called shelfie beer, yeah, you can't really go wrong. So, JavaHead Stout from Tröegs, 4 out of 5 all day, every day. It's a good beer. I'm sure a lot of you have had this one before, so if you have, let me know what you think about it. But for a beer that, this will tie into the value and availability, but for a beer that I picked up, and I think it was, for a bottle, like $1.79, $1.89, $10.49 a six-pack for this at my local Wegmans. I think my local bottle shops might like $10.99 a six-pack. So for a beer that's 7.5% with coffee, with oats, you're talking less than $2 a bottle. That is fantastic value for this beer, and availability wherever Tröegs gets distribution, pretty much throughout the Northeast. Maybe in the Midwest, slightly into the South, but for the most part, they're kind of in the Mid-Atlantic to Northeast region. Yeah, you can pretty much find this everywhere. I think this is year-round. And if you just want a, like, no frills, just well-made coffee stout that you're going to get the coffee, you're going to get the base stout, the oats add to the mouthfeel, and it's super drinkable at 7.5%, this would be your jam. And I enjoy it quite a bit. So 4 out of 5 JavaHead Stout for Tröegs. Appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. Till the next one. Cheers.